Hi, it's Johnny. Today we're watching Squid Game, Season 2, Episode 4, Six Legs. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance. And let's go. Every single person who works here must be a terrible person, like absolutely psychopathic. And it's scary that there are this many of them, and how easily this organization is able to find them. But yeah, do try and eat if you can, because you will need your strength. 100% how they get them. It's an illusion of choice, illusion of consent.
선생님이 살리시면 되죠. 선생님 이 게임 해보셨다면서요?
Oh, you can fuck off.
동그라미 눌렀어요.
Oh, this manipulative bitch.
겁나서 그만두고 난 더 해볼까 그 생각했거든요.
Oh, is he in here to control Jihan? Like, what is his goal here? Like, is he asking him that because he knows it's not the same, so he'll undermine their confidence in him? Like, what is this?
와, 못 모르고 우산 뽑은 놈들은 완전.
Oh, I hate him so much.
65명이 다 성공하면은 상금은 한 푼도 안 늘어나. 그럼 괜히 목숨 걸고 게임만 한 번 더 할 거잖아.
Exactly. That's something else you think about. These people who are like, oh, there's one more game, I'll get some more money. You have to think that you're saying, and these people will die, and I don't care about that. It just shows you how desperate these people are. I don't know. What is his goal here? How does she know? I didn't realize she was like barely far along. And she's desperate. I don't want to watch these people die. To try and stop it.
당신의 마지막에 X만 눌렀어도 최소한 여기 있는 사람들은 살아서 나가려는
사람들이 182명이나 더 있었고요.
And every single one of them is culpable,
182명이 있었습니다.
제가 선생님 말 눌러서 여기를 나갔으면.
No, because these people are chosen for a reason. They are vulnerable and they are exploited as a reason.
지금은 행복하게 살고 있다고 그럴까요?
By that logic, every single person in debt should just kill themselves because what's the point of living? Obviously, that's not what we want. Well, then why did you put all of your money in? We can have our first sign that they don't punish in dormitory violence. Oh, he's going in to be the leader of this group. Yeah. Just stop. You can clearly see. He is not a mentally well human, which we could have told you anyway. God, she went from working in a theme park, being like friendly with kids, to murdering. Yes. I got so muddled in the last one. I was like, the number, was it 246? Was that what they read out? But it was 244 that they read out. And she was looking for it, and then she saw 246 and she realized he was there. And then I was like, oh, she's interested in him because it's him. These are the people you're killing. Everyone you've just killed are just ordinary people like that. People trying. Like, yes, there are some bad people here, but there are also some people who are good. That is the way the world works. Like, even the people who are here because they made dumb decisions deserve to live. They're all people with lives. She annoys me.
사과드리고 싶습니다. 죄송합니다.
아닙니다.
He's the front man you were trying so hard to find. He's right in front of you and you have zero way of knowing. Remember, the last 001 was an untrustworthy little snake, so's this one.
근데 병원에서 검사를 받다가.
So that's the reason that's his real reason he came in the first place, right? It's not his reason now, obviously. So does he have a kid out there? Because he definitely lost control. Like when he was talking to Thanos, whatever his name. I can't take his name being Thanos seriously. I'm like, he's gonna destroy half the universe. But it was like he went from like I'm the big guy, I'm de-escalating the situation to like I'm gonna beat you to death when he mentioned a kid. So was that a real trigger point? Because there was real rage in those eyes.
전 저 돈으로
Trying to absolve your conscience of where you took the money and didn't turn against it all, unlike him.
제 와이프하고 애기
Like if he had just taken the money and just tried to live his life, I wouldn't blame him, Jihan, and I wouldn't blame, I can't remember his name, player one, if he had just got out of the Squid Games and lived his life. But he enabled it and joined it, and that is the problem with him. Well, they're not relying on a contestant to do it this time. Someone's stopping you from making extra money off your murderous job already? Oh, poor thing. Okay, so they tried to bring her in.
그런 문제가 아닙니다.
She has morals, despite her lack of morals. Well, it has been 7 years and she hasn't found them, so...
여기서 할 일은 아무런 삶의 희망이 없는 사람들을 고통 없이 편히 쉬게 해주는 일이라고 하셨습니다.
She's another version, isn't she, of the like extreme person being taken, the person who's extremely desperate being taken advantage of. I feel less sympathy for her because she is actively doing the killing. Like, yes, the people that press the circle are choosing to let other people die in the hopes that they'll get more money out of it. But like, she's the one pulling the trigger. So I do feel less sympathy for her, but it's really fascinating giving us this character who is one of the people in the red suit. It's red to me, I'm sorry. And like, I was feeling empathy for her when we first met her, and then, you know, seeing that she's doing this because she's trying to find her daughter, but it doesn't make it okay.
대장님이십니다.
Yeah, it's gone from putting people out of their misery to making them die slowly. She has morals. She has a line.
그럼 저 좀 도와주세요.
It's very serious.
어떻게 더 도와줄까? 너랑 그 섬이라도 찾으러 다녔나?
Yes.
이 얘기 우리 이미 끝난 거 아니었어?
사장님.
Someone high up is probably involved in the police department, in the government that controls the police department.
몇 년째 되도 않는 소리 짓거리는 거야?
Isn't there, at the very least, surveillance footage of the people in the suits at that club in the streets?
하지 말라 그랬지. 너 이제 복귀를 물고 나갔어 이 새끼야.
I think he'd rather save lives than worry about himself. Oh, yeah. Is this a nightmare he's having? He's having a nightmare, right? I just have to think, especially given that he's here, they're not going to do the same games twice.
어차피 아빠 없이 키울 건데 엄마라도 돈이 있어야지.
This isn't the way, sweetheart. Do we get breakfast? Okay, no breakfast. If it's the same game, I just... Why did they let him keep his jewelry? This seems different. And he has no advantage here.
아닌 것 같아요.
아니면 뭔데요?
Well, he doesn't know, does he?
뭐야? 당신 다 해봤다.
Well, they clearly changed the games, you idiot. Why did you vote to stay?
세상 잘난 척을 혼자 다 하더니
Successfully undermined him.
여기 남은 사람들 거야.
그만하시죠.
And he's taken the responsibility, taken the authority, I mean.
지랄하고 자빠졌네.
일단 저랑
He said it might be.
뭐라는가요?
전 그래도 선생님 믿습니다.
Stay away from
선생님
him.
괜찮으시면 저 이 게임 같이 하고 싶습니다.
So if you're together, I'm more faith you'll survive.
쫄지 말고 한번 해보자. 어차피 애들 게임이래.
Real men.
우리 옛날에 맨날
신경 꺼. 내가 알아서 해.
연락 못해서 미안해.
Can't believe, I mean, I can believe, but I can't believe they brought a pregnant girl here.
더 필요하시면 제가
Judgmental assholes. Your lives are literally on the line and you're still going to choose to be prejudiced?
미안한데 우린
Yep. You don't even know what the game is. Maybe there's like a history quiz or
라인만
like.
빼놓고 오면은 받아줄게요.
근데 여자
타노스님이 널 지켜줄게.
Oh, I might swoon.
타노스. 그럼 인피니티 스톤은 다 모았고?
Of course. 지금부터
That's why he's got the nail polish. And he's destroying half of humanity with my raps. I get it. He literally did name himself after the Marvel character. I'm slow.
난 이미 같이 하자고.
해병이 3명이면 천하무적이지.
I don't feel super confident, but I don't know that the front man is actually here risking his life.
아이가 있어요.
If it weren't for the baby.
니들이 나를 찾아왔어야지. 내가 니들을 찾게 만들어?
I don't want her to die, because I don't want any of them to die, even Thanos. But I don't like this woman. 5 minutes?
더 잘하세요.
전뭐 기훈 씨가 정해주는 걸로 할게요.
I hate him so much!
제 이름은
저 친구분이 이름 부르시길래 저도 그냥 따라.
Oh, I think that was him slipping.
괜찮습니다.
I hate him, it's so uncomfortable. Like, everything about the Squid Game is uncomfortable enough as it is, but this man being here is so uncomfortable.
저는
Keep moving, people! Get moving. Yep. Oh my god, like a firing squad. On the course as well, blood's gonna be slippery. He's just like dead inside, like emotionless.
나가자고 했잖아. 이제 다 죽게 생겼어. 동그라미 두는 놈들 때문에 다 죽게 생겼다고.
Everyone who voted to stay will now be viewed as a target to a degree. Surely a higher up would notice that people keep not being dead. Okay. The theme of this show, this team, just because it's got people we know on it doesn't mean that they're not gonna die.
나는 현주예요. 그러니까 영미 씨도 자기 자신을 믿어야 돼요.
I just really want most of these people to make it out. I'd like all of them to make it out, but that's unrealistic.
해볼게.
아주머니 이름이
Only the gods know my name.
선녀야.
Oh, okay, I feel mean now.
용궁선녀.
Like, she can be a shaman, that's totally fine. But stop being a bitch to everybody. You've got Thanos going around being a bitch to everybody. We don't need a shaman doing it too. Ooh, okay, Squid Game is Squid Gaming, and Rainfog, can't for the life of me remember Huang's brother's name, but player 1, it just makes me so uncomfortable. And like, obviously everything about Squid Game makes me uncomfortable. Like, the only scenes where I'm not like crawling out of my skin kind of other scenes where we're like with the police or like with the people that, because it's like not actively happening there, but it's still not a comfy watch. This show is not a show you like. If anybody puts on Squid Game and is like, woo, fun, I'm just having a really jolly time, I do worry about you, because like there is so much to unpack in the show and it is so enjoyable, but like it is just such an uncomfortable watch. But the way he's like both ingratiating himself with Jihan while also undermining him, and just the power imbalance of him knowing exactly who Jihan is and who he himself is, and Jihan having no idea, and it makes me feel confident that, I don't know, like, I still, obviously, we didn't get really any insights into why player 1 is here. Like, last time's player 1, I didn't trust the shady little snake, but he had he's dying already, so why not go and do this thing? Like, fine. I could see player 1 being in a position of not having anything to live for, particularly, especially if both his wife and child die. We know his wife died, but if his child also didn't survive. His brother knows who he really is, so he can't go home. Like, that kind of him having nothing else to live for, maybe even a punishment, because it was his games that he let Jihan win, and then Jihan didn't do what they wanted, so he's got to come back in as a punishment of some kind. But I feel like he is back in as a choice. Like, he did not participate in the first game because we saw him watching, unless I'm completely losing my mind. Like, he didn't take part in red light, green light. He then chose to join, to control the situation somehow, which makes me very curious, because is he willing to die? I kind of got the sense that he was just in here and no matter what really happened, he wouldn't die. But with this, he can't control whether or not, if the second player just does not hit that stone, it doesn't matter that there's a secret immunity thing for him or that they don't want to kill him. Like, they need to do something. Now maybe they'll just, there's a person in there with a blank gun that they'd fire at him and he would just collapse and pretend to be dead. But I guess something like that could happen. But I'm very intrigued about if he is actually here because he's fallen from grace, because he's angered them, because he hasn't kept up his side of the bargain, or if he is here as part of a scheme, as part of a controlled Jihan. As even the way he's slowly trying to say to him, if you win the money, it's not really blood money, you didn't kill them, it's all okay. Like, what is the end goal here? Are they trying to talk Jihan into, like, winning again, but then not coming after them? Or is he on his team to try and intentionally fuck it up for him to make sure Jihan dies? Like, you know, it could go, I don't know, and it's making me so uncomfortable. Like, every time he speaks, it's uncomfortable. Definitely his reason for doing the Squid Game in the first place was because of the story he told about his wife, and that's why when Thanos was like, oh, talk to your own kids, not me, he lost it. Like, you could see that that was beyond his controlled performance. That was rage. And it's very fascinating because as a man, he has zero life behind his eyes at any moment. And apart from when he had that rage behind his eyes, it's just incredibly stressful. And it's incredibly stressful because everything got bad enough. But this added thing on top of it, just Jihan not knowing who this man is, it's so heartbreaking. Because, like, in season 1, I didn't trust the old man, but I don't, I mean, again, it's been a while since I watched season 1 and I only watched my reactions when I edited them. So, like, I know I was suspicious of him, but it wasn't like this because I didn't know. And even then, it was like, I think the entire time I was suspicious of him, I was convinced I was delusional. Whereas this time, we all know. So we don't know why he's doing it, though. We don't know what is the motivation behind it. And we know the organs smuggling people, they're still going strong, although less strong now because Player 11 is making sure they can't use them. And she is a fascinating character. It kind of shows you the moral dilemmas this show does best, because when we first met her, you're like, oh my god, she's going to join the Squid Game, I'm going to have to watch her die. And then she became one of the perpetrators. She became one of the people doing it. And, you know, she's not she's circles at the lowest level. She's a mid-level. It just adds another layer to it that we can see her and we can understand why she is in the position she is. Like, a little bit of life experience in North Korea, and she's very good at killing people already, so it's not hard for her to kill people. And then this desperate desire to get her child back, and I presume she needs lots of money to do that, and they pay well. I don't know. And obviously she doesn't mind killing people. Now, it doesn't make me like her, but it is interesting. And then giving her this line she no longer wants to cross, or she doesn't want to cross, of, I will be here, I will put the hopeless out of their misery, but I won't let you make them suffer unnecessarily and then steal their organs. That's a line too far. It's just really interesting psychology, because you can definitely see this argument of, and it goes back to sort of medieval times, back in, for most of all of history, there were two types of poor. There were the deserving poor and the undeserving poor. And so there would be laws in place that would give some form of charity and help to the deserving poor, but the undeserving poor were the scum of the earth. They were the worst. And thankfully that idea in law got changed, but a lot of people who are rich, it is definitely not changed. And that is something you can very much see here. These people are less than because of the position they're in their lives, because they are choosing to be part of the Squid Games, because they're that desperate. They are less than. So she's totally cool with murdering them, with killing them, because they're just, their lives are misery anyway, so let's just put them out of their misery. But it's fascinating that she has this line she won't cross of making them suffer unnecessarily and then stealing their organs. What's the point? Like, yes, obviously making them suffer unnecessarily is cruel, but you're already killing them. You're already making them suffer unnecessarily by enabling them being a part of the Squid Games process in the first place. It's just very fascinating. I still don't like her. In much the same way that I don't like Thanos. We saw him do drugs and then kill people. I don't like the shaman lady because there's no need to be rude to people. Even if the gods speak to you, you don't need to be rude. I don't want any people to die, though. But it's very fascinating. And what I think will be particularly illuminating will be if after this case, after this game, they do another vote or not. Because if they don't do another vote, or if they do another vote and they choose to stay, it really shows you just how desperate these people are. And it's so easy for us, especially people like us watching, who are not in that kind of position, who are not in that kind of desperate financial straits that these people are in for various reasons. It doesn't matter what the reasons are. It's so easy to judge them and to be like, I mean, I've called some of them stupid because they're saying stupid things, but it's so easy to judge them as like completely without any compassion, because you can't imagine yourself ever being that desperate. And we'd all like to think that we never would be, and that if we were, we would choose to leave the games. And I think I would, but it's also like that just how desperate they are, that they really do see the chance of them dying as being worth it because of the dire straits they're in. Then you add in the added thing of a lot of them will be gambling addicts, so they're gambling, the ultimate gamble's taking place. It's just very fascinating and very heartbreaking as a show and as a concept. And I think it can be very easy to get lost in the sensationalizedness of the games and the gunshots happening in the friend center, and to kind of lose track of what the heart of the story is actually about. And it's a very, very uncomfortable watch, and I'm very stressed going forwards because I don't know how we're going to solve any of this. How are they going to stumble across the island? I'm just stressed, okay? I don't know how there's a good ending to this. And I mean that at the end of season 3 as well. I don't think there's going to be a good ending. So yeah, reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance. And thank you so much for watching.